Today, we are joined by Lance Fensterman, who is the new CEO of Fanatics Events. And first off, I want to say congratulations, Lance, on your new position. I'm so excited for your new gig and to talk to you here today.
Thanks. I really appreciate it. And true to form in that I'm a CEO of one person. You know what I mean? So, great title.
To
Now we got to build
start,
a company.
to
Yeah,
start off.
exactly.
Yes. So for those who don't know you're the former president of a pop culture event business, ReedPop, which is owned by RX, a global company. You started working on New York Comic Con in 2007. So I think you might know a little bit about passionate communities, huh?
A little bit,
Eh,
and how wonderful they are, and how careful you have to tend them and care for them. So, yeah, I'm excited to have an opportunity to take some of those learnings, both from successes and plenty of mistakes, and apply them to a new sort of community with a new set of resources and tools to play with.
So, for those who don't know, yesterday, Fanatics announced that they were launching this new venture, and Lance would be the CEO. And I was doing some research on the company, and Fanatics is a global digital sports platform. I've bought shirts from Fanatics before and gear from when the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, et cetera. It's valued at 31 billion as of December, is what I read on CNBC. And also a minority partner is IMG, an events and talent management company that's part of Endeavor, which is traded on the New York Stock Exchange. And so the goal behind it in the press release was bringing together communities at live events to celebrate all aspects of fandom, including sports, collectibles, memorabilia, fashion, music, and entertainment. I'm curious how the deal came about and what you can tell us.
Totally. Happy to. It was actually end of 2022. And I got a call from a guy who I had never met. And I Googled him, and he worked for Fanatics and he used to work for the Dodgers. And I thought, this is an interesting character. And he really just wanted some advice. He is the chief strategy officer at Fanatics and said they're interested in building out fan events and fan communities. And they'd been to New York Comic Con just that fall. And we're like, we want to build something like what you've got. Can you help us? What can you tell us? And so we just chatted, and he's a super engaging guy. I just really liked him. Curious and humble and asked great questions. And we had a really great conversation. And I was like, happy to give you more free advice if you want to. And a month or so later, called back, had a few more questions. We went through it. And then the third time he said, like, why don't you just come do this? And I was like, I have a job and I love my job and I love my brands and I love my people and I love the company. And what I learned was Tucker's boss is a guy named Michael Rubin who founded Fanatics. And Michael is an incredibly impressive entrepreneur and visionary. He's also fairly persuasive. Fast forward a few more months and I was changing my email address to @fanatics.com. So
That is so exciting. One of the things that I think is exciting about it is the resources right behind it. And do you think that this market is where the comic industry and the Comic Con industry was 15, 20 years ago when you first got into it?
totally. And I'll tell you, like, there's three things that attracted me to the opportunity. The first was the vision that Michael had for the company and why he wanted to get into live events, which was really to build community and relationships with fans and really wow them, which that's where it starts. If you're not there, if you're not thinking that way, you're not going to succeed. The second thing was when you looked at card shows, card collectible shows, right? I have baseball cards here somewhere. I could do a visual, but card shows look today a lot like those Comic Con events we found in 2006, 2007, right?
Mhm.
Highly passionate communities, but closed off, cloistered. If you don't know about them, you're not going to be there. Wonderful, passionate kind of fan operators, right? They're all owned and run by collectors themselves. We're really ripe to grow and add more to them, so to speak. And then the third piece was a company like Fanatics that has so many resources, but is very entrepreneurial and wants to build an entrepreneurial venture reminded me a lot of building ReedPop within RX. Big entity with tons of resources, right? We never would have gotten into the Javits Center if we were not RX, but we were able to build out a global pop culture business by being close to fans and entrepreneurial as ReedPop. And I saw some similar traits or patterns between Fanatics and what they were asking me to build and the vision I had to build. So that really made it kind of an exciting opportunity to me.
Yeah, that does sound like a super exciting opportunity. You alluded to something I wanted to chat about is that the sports collectible shows as they typically are now. I have been maybe to this suburban convention center or a hotel where maybe there's like a couple of old baseball players who come and sign things, or this collectible booth, a little bit smaller show, not necessarily, it's definitely not a New York Comic Con. So
Lo-fi.
Yeah. So tell me about, let's look at the landscape of what the market is like now.
I think what is interesting is it is DIY and tables, no pipe and drape, even no carpeting, very DIY. And I think there's a lot of opportunity to improve the experience, right? To broaden the scope of these events. But I think it's also really important to remember that at the core, these events are serving passionate people. And it's successfully serving those passionate collectors and dealers, right? A lot like the Comic Con world, where it was guys flipping through long boxes of comics and comic artists. We don't want to disrupt that at all. That is a core, passionate element of these shows that is vital, vibrant, and important. We want to add to it, right? Yeah. Just like we did with Comic-Con. And you say, what else can there be? And using the Comic-Con example, it was toys, Japanese pop culture, film, television, right? Celebrities, but you're still building around this core passionate base. And I think when I see those shows, I see tons of improvements, but I also see a vibrant, passionate community that these shows are working for them. And so I think it's important not to get too high on your horse about, wow, I can make this better. Well, it's working well for those folks. How can I bring others in? How can we improve the experience for more people and introduce them to this hobby, and then celebrate their passionate fandom for sports across the board, and where sports starts to intersect with fashion, entertainment, music, other collectible items. So you go down the list, and I think we're really well positioned based on my experience and Fanatics' wonderful set of resources to build out some really exciting platforms and entertainment platforms and fan communities.
In the press release, it said maybe looking to launch events in 2024, maybe some of your first fan-facing events in 2024.
Yeah,
that's the plan.
It's interesting because if you look at the existing landscape of these sorts of shows, there's a lot of those smaller kind of niche card shows, but there aren't really any large scale events serving sports fandom. There just aren't. You say that's a wonderful opportunity, right? It's open space. You also could say there might be a reason there haven't been. It's hard to do. People are typically Chiefs fans, to use you as an example. That doesn't necessarily mean you're a fan of all football. So how do we find that balance? And so what we're looking at then is kind of using multiple tools to grow the business and scale it, which is, are there things that we could acquire? Maybe smaller things that the brand is great, or the ownership team is unbelievable and they would be so additive, or they've got a really unique take on these sorts of events, and with some resourcing and help, they could scale them, right? So acquisition is one. Two, absolutely launch. And that's where you say, and how hard it is to launch shows. That's a long process that has high risk of failure. And that's where we say, we're going to launch stuff in 24, right? We need the time to get everything set. And then the third thing is, are there joint ventures, right? Are there people or partners out there that we could be talking to that we could work together to put something compelling into the market and serve these communities? So we're going to use all the tools at our disposal to build an exciting live event platform. And again, draws well off the experience of building ReedPop through launch, acquisition, and joint venture. And so I'd like to say, really novel, but I'm just kind of using my experience and applying it to an exciting new world.
Exactly. But with somebody who doesn't have that event necessarily experience background like this. So do you think that as we've come out of the pandemic, events have come roaring back, that whole in-person experience, bringing back together communities, things like Taylor Swift concert that we were talking about, like the idea of that events are so hot. Do you see, it sounds like Fanatics and IMG wanted to jump on that bandwagon as well and take advantage of that opportunity to bring their communities together in a different way and capitalize on the assets they already have.
Totally. And I don't want to aim too high, but I would like the first year of this business to gross the same as Taylor's concert series. So I mean, I don't want to be too ambitious. I think that Fanatics recognizes that want to be a brand that has meaning across every aspect of sports fandom. And I think they recognize that right now, Fanatics is where you go to buy the thing you love. You don't go to them because you love them, right? You go to buy your Chiefs t-shirt and it's on fanatics.com. And I think Fanatics is saying we really want to build out products that will serve all sort of aspects of sports fans' needs, but also we want to be a brand that sports fans love. And as I explained to the leadership team, digital campaigns will have way more breadth, right? You're going to reach millions of people in a very light way. But if you want to build a relationship, if you want a brand to have a relationship with people, live events will build deep relationships with people. And so I think there's a real desire to use these events to wow fandom, to grow fandom, and to build a relationship between Fanatics and these wonderful community of sports fans.
Yeah. Yeah, great. I also know that the sports market is hot. For instance, Emerald just launched NBA Con last weekend, and there's been several sports related launches in the last year, 6 months, because the opportunities are so exciting. So tell me personally about this opportunity and what you're looking forward to.
Yeah, I love to build. And so I'm excited to get back to the basics of building a business and building a team and building a culture. It's what I enjoy most. So I'm really excited to have this blank sheet of paper and that terrifying feeling of if I don't do something today, nothing will happen today. And I'm excited to be in front of customers again and potential partners and just talking and engaging and learning. So that's really exciting to me. I think that sports is hot and it has been. And I think it's ripe for a new take on what a sports kind of fandom live expression can look like. And I really feel that Fanatics has the mindset, the resource, and some really unique assets that are building blocks to build something pretty special. And they have relationships with all the major leagues. They are a licensee, but also in many cases, there's ownership stakes, right? So they are in business with all the major leagues. And so it gives us an opportunity, I think, for a deeper level of partnership than really anybody else in the space. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah. When you say that those assets that they have, talk about that, just expand on that a little bit. You mean like, for instance, databases of like customers, right?
Yep. There's 100 million email addresses, right? There are licenses with every major sports league, really. They own Topps, the sports card company of note. I'm still practicing that. We have 5,000 elite athletes under exclusive contract for appearances. We just launched a live selling platform this week. The former global head of strategy for Google is building it. We are launching or have launched a wagering platform, and just after I joined, made a massive acquisition of another wagering company that puts us into multiple states. There's just the largest memorabilia business where it's not just new product, but game worn product and signed product. There's just so many pieces to put together to be able to build a really compelling platform, I think, that will wow fans, however you're a fan. And then beyond that, there's just some relationships that exist within this organization that Michael Rubin can pick up the phone and speak to most anyone that we need to further big ideas. And that's exciting, right? If you're wanting to build and be an entrepreneur, it's neat to have that small, nimble ability to do that with all of these toys and resources and relationships relationships need to be brought to bear. That's really cool. That's fun. That's exciting. I just better not screw it up. No pressure.
Yeah. Super cool. The resources that you have in those assets just sound like a springboard to be able to do a lot of great things. Okay, one more question for you and I'll let you go. What's on your agenda for like right now, the next month? Are you hiring? Where do you start setting up a brand new events business with all of what you already have behind you?
It's a great question. And I'll say, I've really, over my time at RX and ReedPop, I had to learn to run a big company as it grew because it was 200 people and all of the revenue and shows and I needed to learn to be more selective about what I said and more selective about what I chased and to not distract the organization. And now in the last 2 months, I've had to learn the exact opposite, which is I need to move in every direction at once. I need to stop worrying about going in one direction, then going in another direction, and then going this way, and then going that way, because that's what you have to do, right, when you're exploring. And I knew that in 2007, 8, 9, 10. But I then unlearned all of those traits to be a better kind of executive of a bigger company. So I am moving in every direction at once, and I am embracing the chaos and recognizing that my time now is to ask questions, question after question. And it starts with customers, it starts with the community, it starts with fans, right? Understanding what they want, what they don't want, what's been done, what they like, what they don't like. And that's internal as well, because there's an amazing number of really bright, engaged people within Fanatics that are a part of these communities, right? So it's internal and it's external. It's data driven, right? We're going through the database, but also it's just open-ended focus groups and meetups and going to shows and seeing fans. So I'm doing a lot of that right now. So we can take these hypotheses and try and kind of filter through them to get to the best few. And I'm having a ton of conversations with vendors, with venues, with potential talent. And the line I keep giving them is, I don't need much now, but in a minute, I'm going to need everything. So I'm trying to have all those conversations. So it's like when it's time to start marketing the hell out of this, I've got a stable of 3 marketers I'm going to bring on board. So the short answer is everything at once, a lot of learning and listening and lining up folks. And I'm starting to hire. I've got now a team of 3. I'm about to hire a 4th. I'll be hiring a 5th soon after that. And then as we get into the new year, we'll continue to, or end of the year, new year, we'll ramp up with a lot more hiring. I know it's a long answer, but I'm telling you, it's a wonderful head spinning time right now. And I'm doing my best to enjoy it and remember the exploration and the learning is what will set our success to come.
Yeah. So you're not a CEO of 1. So you're already a CEO of 3, soon to be 4, and then to be 5.
Yeah,
come on.
I've tripled the size of my company in a mere 70 days. I don't want to brag, but
I wish you the very best. And thank you for taking a few minutes. And I hope as soon as you get ready to launch an event, you'll keep us posted.
I will. And can I tell you one more thing?
Yeah.
The event, Danica, you and all of the folks from the event world are the best people in the world to work with. And I'm telling you, because like I've come to this really cool organization, lots of high powered people, but they don't have fun like we have fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'm building out this team, and my goal is we're going to be the noisy event people in that corner that they're always like, man, they're always having fun. They're always laughing. They're always solving problems. Like it's just a confirmation leaving a world of all event people. The confirmation that we're the best. Like we're just a wonderful community of people that love what we do, have fun doing it, and deal with difficult situations all day long and enjoy it. And it's been a wonderful confirmation of what I think we all know, but sometimes take for granted, which this is an awesome community. I'm super excited to stay in it from a different perch.
Yeah. And we talked, you're still going to be coming to CISO, you'll be coming to industry events and want to stay involved in the event industry because you're building an event company within a company.
Completely. And I'm excited to, again, like bring a Fanatics type org into that world because I think this can be additive and vice versa. So it's an affirmation of the work that you do and so many others. And I'm just proud to continue to be a part of it.
Yeah, we can't wait to see you in person next time. So good luck. Have fun hitting the ground and going in all your chaotic ways. Enjoy the ride.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Great to see you.